Well, my final video for today, which was almost going to be my first video, I was like, no, I'm saving this one for last. Again, I can't get away from these the real estate, home prices, the glut of massive amounts of homes for sale, and massive amounts of foreclosures all of a sudden being put on the market. As you saw from my first video today, I had Bill Holter on, talked to him, it was a good time. He seems to think that possibly we are seeing, that these banks that had all these foreclosures on their books from back in '08 and '09, TARP fund bailout nonsense, and they were sitting on them, just not doing anything with them. The houses were sitting there. He thinks maybe that it's go time 2.0 for them to just put them on the market now. Let's all the banks, let's start. We got some foreclosures to get rid of. Let's put them on the market all of a sudden. And that is a possible reason. I will say that for sure. But I think some of the investment that scooped up a bunch of the housing, expecting to do the rent thing or flip it, whatever the hell they were thinking, are realizing now, because of the other videos I've been doing about this recently, and I think they kind of prove, at least to some extent, it wasn't performing like they thought. And now they want to get rid of some of their property, maybe a lot of their property. Maybe they're realizing too, guys, this is a peak. We saw this in 2006 and 7 and 8. We're done with this. Let's get out now before anyone else catches on. Only to find out all the other investors have found out too and are now flooding the market with homes for sale. What happens to something when you flood the market? I'll give you a prime example. Futures contracts, paper silver, COMEX silver. Price is $21. A massive, unprecedented order comes through for thousands and thousands and thousands of sell orders. Each order is worth 5,000 ounces. And there's no buyers. There's a few buyers ready to buy some of that. What happens to the price? It plummets. And that's true for anything, any commodity. And I'm not talking about because they manipulate it for that reason. Anything that there's a massive supply of, what happens to the price? It comes down, right? When you first heard about plasma screen TVs, remember plasma versus the LCD, which one's better? Do they even make plasmas anymore, by the way? Is anyone even buying those things anymore? But they were new. There wasn't a lot of them out there. They were extreme. There were thousands of dollars. You remember that? $3,000, $4,000, $5,000? My friend got a 60-inch screen. How much was it? $5,000. Oh, I got a 55-inch. When we first moved into this house about a year ago, got a 55-inch for like $389. It was like a weekend, football weekend, some crap. Labor Day, something. Let me see if Best Buy down the street has any sales online. Yes, they do. Well, yes, they do. Walked right in the door, looked to the right. Oh, I don't even have to go look for this. It's right there. You already have them lined up. This isn't even Black Friday. Well, thank you. I'll put that right over in this cart and pay for it and exit. $389, 55-inch TV. Love it. So what happens when you put a bunch of houses on the market? Price goes down. What also happens while that's happening? If interest rates rise, the price is also going to come down even more. But there's too much, I think, things that are going to play a huge role this time pushing the markets down, and I'm talking housing, versus last time. We have some of the same issues we dealt with last time, but back then we didn't also have 3 and 4% interest rates like we've been able to have recently, which don't seem to affect this problem because there's still a ton of people trying to sell. And again, I'm seeing houses 360 days on Zillow, 490 days on Zillow, 262 days on Zillow. Seems like your prices are a little too high, whoever's trying to hold out and not sell it. So I see 2 articles, one from wolfstreet.com, Wolf Richter, and then we have one from Zero Hedge. And I saw these both at the same day, and they're different. But, they kind of answer some questions for me. So the main one from Wolf Street, how much money laundering? New thing I think I discovered. How much money laundering is going into the housing market? His answer, a lot, he says. Oh, Remember the Chinese thing where they wanted to get rid of some of the people over there? We got a lot of money. We can't let it leave the country. They don't want to let us leave the country, but we know what's going to happen here. We want to get this capital outside the country. And they went to freaking Canada, Vancouver, etc., buying mansions for millions of dollars, and they were way overpriced when they bought them, but they didn't care. We just want to put our money somewhere. And now they're rotting in Canada. But you could kind of look at that as laundering money, into something over there. This is not that. This is not about the Chinese laundering money like that. So I want to first, though, start with this article from Zero Hedge. New home sales disappoint as median home prices actually rises. Again, we're peaking it out. We are peaking it out 7.4%. Soft survey and optimism-based data may still be euphoric, but when it comes to the hard, actual economic data, moments ago, the census reported the latest disappointment when it comes to new home sales, which rose to 555,000 in January, missing expectations of 571,000 and up 3.7% from a downward revised 535K in December. So hold on. What's Jay Snip 4's favorite thing to point out? Revision. Was it a revision upward? No, it was a revision downward. So the last data we got was revised down to 535K. But they're saying this new data is 555K for January, even though we thought expectations would be 571K. So my question is, are we going to find out in a month or two that the 555K in January has been revised down to something even lower, which makes this article even more important than the one I'm about to read you. More troubling, however, is that 1 decade after the last housing peak, again, 2005 and 6, new home sales are well below half of their peak hit in 2005. Total month supply in January was unchanged at 5.7 compared to 5.7 in December. Despite the miss, both new and existing home sales continue to rise. Although, if mortgage applications are any indication, sales of housing are due for a sharp pullback in the coming months. Finally, what is notable is that while the median household or home price dipped in January from $316,200 to $312,900, it was still 7.4% higher compared to a year ago, with 19% of new homes sold in January costing more than $500,000, up from 17% last month, suggesting that somehow many Americans can still afford to keep chasing offers even without the benefit of new mortgages, which, however, is a big red flag that the Census Bureau is largely goal-seeking trends and numbers, if not for the time being. So we have new home sales. What color is that? Just trying to look at this chart, make sense of it. New home sales are up. Existing home sales are up. But mortgage, let me see if I can pull this up. You're going to have to squint your eyes on this one. Matter of fact, let me just zoom in on the page. Maybe that'll help. Zero Hedge. So gold color. I love gold. Blue color and red color. As you can see, the gold new home sales, it's up. Up, baby, up. 2013, from the down of 2013, that looks like the low. We had a little blip apparently in December of 2015, but whatever, back up. Even existing home sales, it's down, but it's back up a little bit, as you can see. But while both of those, in other words, home sales period are up, but mortgage applications are freaking way down. Way down. Now, what does that mean? That means you, me, the people aren't the ones buying these homes. Now, the videos I've been doing recently talked about this. Investors, big investors, were buying up a third of all these sales for a while. Then they decided, which is about 33% of them, let's back off a little bit. It's down to 20, 22%. And then smaller but investors are kind of picking up the slack, and now we're going to try it. So it's just investors in general buying the properties, not people, which is why mortgage apps are way down. But again, these people, they think everything's fine from 2006. We were past that. It's not happening again. Let's get into this. We're going to rent these houses. We're going to do all this stuff. Then why can I go to Zillow right now and see an unprecedented amount of homes for sale? If these numbers are up, new home sales are rising, that means the completed sale. That doesn't mean someone wants to buy a house, tries to, and then can't. How could we have this many new home sales and existing home sales when I'm looking in Zillow, seeing unimaginable amounts of homes on there? Again, I've showed you live on Zillow the foreclosures and the people who aren't foreclosed selling their houses, which might be investors too. Can't quite put my finger on it yet. However, to the main article I'd really like to talk about now, if you don't mind, wolfstreet.com. How much money laundering is going on in the housing market? A lot. Answers trickle in. Tough luck for New York, San Fran, and Miami. Quote, I am shocked to find that money laundering is going on in here. He says borrowed and twisted from Casablanca. The U.S. Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, announced just on Thursday that it would extend for another 180 days, or half a year, a temporary program that was due to expire on Thursday, and that it had originally kicked off in January 2016 and expanded in July to identify and track secret homebuyers who hide behind shell companies and other opaque structures for the purpose of money laundering. I'm starting to sniff a reason why we are seeing some of these sales. Are you? Home sales. While simultaneously the applications for mortgages are falling through the floor. And it has already gleaned some insights, apparently, for this little program, this little temporary program. The U.S. housing market has been a perfect platform to launder large amounts of money, no questions asked. Brokers, banks, and other industry professionals played along. There were no reporting requirements. Everyone in the world knew it, and they came to launder their cash by buying expensive homes. But FinCEN, via its evocately named Geographic Targeting Orders, or GTO, wants to know who these opaque homebuyers are. To find out, the GTOs temporarily require U.S. title insurance companies to identify the natural persons behind shell companies used to pay all cash, i.e. without bank financing, for high-end real estate, residential real estate, in 6 major metropolitan areas. I wonder if one of those is Miami. Oh, that's right. He said it was. And I showed you in my chart the other day on Zillow, not a chart, but the screenshot of literally block of, like a city block. And I said, how many people could possibly live in one of these blocks? Like, what is this? Versus how many homes I'm seeing for sale in one freaking block. It is out of control. And that was Miami. You go to where I live near Tampa, it's not like that bad, but it's still horrible. And I'm like, how are all these homes for sale? It just doesn't even make sense. And they're all asking still high prices. And of course, on the market for 262 days, 490 days. Oh, no wonder why. So FinCEN is soliciting the help of title insurance companies because title insurance is a common feature in the vast majority of real estate transactions. And these companies can provide valuable information about real estate transactions of concern. In its July announcement, when the program was expanded from 2 metros, Manhattan and Miami-Dade, to 6 metros, FinCEN Acting Director Jamal El-Hindi wouldn't say to what extent money laundering was involved, but he did throw in a tantalizing tidbit. He said, the information we have obtained from our initial GTOs suggests that we are on the right track. So they went from 2 areas to 6 areas. You wouldn't go from 2 to 6 if the data suggested that There's nothing to really see here. It's fine. It's legit. No, it's not fine. This is insane. If it's this bad, let's pull in some more areas. Let's pull in 4 more areas and check those out. And his comment on that is, the information we have obtained from our initial GTOs suggests that we are on the right track. This time around, FinCEN gave a number, a percentage of what they call suspicious activity. FinCEN has found that about 30%, so almost 1/3 of these transactions, buying, selling homes, covered by the GTOs, involve a beneficial owner or purchaser representative that is also the subject of a previous suspicious activity report. This corroborates FinCEN's concerns about the use of shell companies to buy luxury real estate in all cash transactions. 30%? It's that high? Are you freaking kidding me? El Hindi, still acting director, said or added, these GTOs are producing valuable data that is assisting law enforcement and is serving to inform our future efforts to address money laundering in the real estate sector. The subject of money laundering and illicit financial flows involving the real estate sector is something that we have been taking on in steps to ensure that we continue to build an efficient and effective regulatory approach, he said. So they might actually try to do something about it. Apparently, he had the permission of his new boss at the Treasury, former real estate magnate and former Sears Holding director Steven Mnuchin, and Mnuchin's boss, real estate magnate President Trump, to extend the program. So this doesn't look like one of those Obama things that is getting chopped. Here are the cities where this information gathering on secretive buyers is in effect, and the minimum purchase price that will trigger it. Several of them are among the biggest destinations of global wealth. New York, Manhattan, $3 million. Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, and Staten Island, $1.5 million. Florida, Miami-Dade County, that's where I showed you the other day. Broward County, nearby. And Palm Beach County, also nearby them, $1 million. And it says this is the minimum purchase price that will trigger things in their data to say, hey, flag this one. We got a plus $1 million purchase. Let's look into this one. 30% of those is some fishy people, right? That's what they're saying. Southern California. Oh, wait. I skipped one. The Bay Area. San Francisco treat. It's Rice-A-Roni, but you get the point. San Fran, San Mateo County, and Santa Clara County, their trigger number is $2 million. Southern California, San Diego County, used to live there when I was 4 and 5, moved to Florida. And Los Angeles County, $2 million. Texas, Bexar County, which includes San Antonio, $500,000 purchases. This effort to get a grip on money laundering, it's not even a crackdown, yet since there are no enforcement actions, it's already helping to put a chill on these markets. In the top 3 markets on the list above, along with some others, sales and prices in the luxury segment have already taken a hit. This is new stuff. This is new information I'm giving you. And the WebBot report said to look at high-end real estate getting chopped down. You're going to see it losing massive value. High-end real estate first, the WebBot said, followed by the rest of the real estate market, everything else. Which is why I feel that the whole 18-year cycle of real estate boom and bust, which 2008 had 20 years, that's 2028, but again, it's an 18-year cycle, so 2026, 2025 roughly is the next boom bust period. And when I read, it's about 2025, the year 2025, what they say. So that would imply a 2006 or 7 time frame, which you could say that's around when it really busted anyway, when it started going down. But I sat here and said, I'm not going to rent a house myself personally. I'm not renting a house. And it's the year 2017. I started in 2016 renting. I will not be renting a house to catch the super duper boom if the 18-year cycle is correct, and I got to wait till 2025 to get the biggest, baddest sweetheart deal. From 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, I'm not sitting here 9 years to catch a good deal. All that rent money thrown away. How much of a mortgage could I have paid off in 9 years? Follow me? But that does not mean, under any circumstances, that I'm going to go out there at the high right now, 2017, February, and go buy a house. Not unless I got some kind of fire sale. And I don't see that happening. There's a glut of properties for sale. And again, the prices will have to come down. If they want to sell these things, the prices are going to have to come down. You know what I'd really like to see, to be honest with you? And I'm always honest with you, in case you didn't know that. 30% of these transactions, the ones they're following, mind you, just the ones that they are flagging themselves to look further into. And then another one, and another one. 30%. So, again, that's about a third. 1 out of 3, money laundering, highly suspicious, illegal activity. They're dumping money in the housing. So what that does, when you have big shots, maybe these are big banker buddies, criminals, whatever they are, drug cartel, whatever and whoever, have that much money that they got to just flood it into real estate, the most expensive thing you will buy in your life, a house. They've got so much money, they're just dumping it into real estate everywhere, pushing the prices higher. And I look at the rest of us saying, here we are working for a living to make payments on a mortgage, and you guys got enough cash to pay these things off in full. So what I hope happens under a Trump presidency, money launderers, your house that you thought you bought, you laundered money with it. You used laundered money, not you laundered with it. You used laundered money to purchase the house. Yeah, listen, guess what? It's been seized. And since it's seized, we don't have to have any specific price we're going to resell it for. Since you screwed over the American taxpayer who wanted to get him or herself a nice house at a reasonable price, and you criminals were coming over here buying up a third of all the freaking property, pushing property prices through the roof because you didn't care how much it was. You just wanted to buy it to put your money in it, which caused everyone else to suffer because they were buying houses too. You know, getting a family, got to move out, get a house, buying at the high, not because we want to, just because we have to, got to get out, buy a house, do the whole family thing, the American dream thing. So we're going to start this bid on all these houses. The starting bid is going to be $0. And yes, anyone who can get approved for a mortgage up to a certain amount, you can certainly bid on this house for that certain amount. So cash buyers, you can bid. People mortgages pre-approved, you can bid. We're not going to start it at $150. No. Starting bid, $100. Go. I would love nothing more than to see that happen, because that's how you could get back at the criminal element within society. Now, I will say this too, and this is unfortunate. Those of us who, my favorite term, did the right thing and want to sell my house all of a sudden, and I didn't get overextended in my house. I owe a lot less on it than it's worth, so I should have a big, nice little profit there. Because all this happened, now the freaking value of my house went way down. What the hell did I do to deserve this? So yeah, there's always winners and there's always losers, but apparently whenever it comes to losers, it's guaranteed to be some element of the taxpayers. This is very interesting for me to follow this. I can't get the real estate thing, out of my head. I can't stop. I'm seeing stuff almost daily. I'm adding it all together, putting it all together. It's a big puzzle. And like I said, I think there's different elements. Banks, foreclosures, like Mr. Bill Holter said, they're probably dumping a bunch of those back on the market that they held back on for all these years. They got the go-ahead from the Fed or whoever, put them back on the market. Okay, so they've done so. The super high institutional investors, we don't like what we're seeing. We're starting to get out now. So while simultaneously these smaller investors are getting back in or getting into it and buying some too. But again, when I saw the mortgage applications way down, yet buying is continuing just fine. That's not normal. That's not possible unless there's something going on, illegal. Something's happening, and I think the illegal part we just found. And if this is a third of what they are, remember, only if a house is worth $1 million or more. You know, in Florida, Miami-Dade County, Broward County, Palm Beach County, $1 million purchase or more flags it for them to look at. And they're finding 30% appear to be money laundering. My solution, if old Snippy was in charge, not all criminals are complete morons. Let's look at all real estate transactions. Let's get a team together, bigger team. $1 million purchases, let's make that $500 million. Let's cut it in half. 100,000, 200, nah, forget that. 500,000, let's cut that in half and see what happens. And if the data suggests, you'll know soon enough. You will know soon enough. If the data suggests, not even suggests, it's going to show you, oh, we've got 30% of these purchases, 500K, or between 500K to $1 million, with the same red flag. Mr. Senior Executive Officer Jason Four, yes, come on in my office. What did you find? And I just want to know with the 500,000 to $1 million. What are you finding, sir? Great idea. We're finding the same thing. Matter of fact, we might have even found more. It might be 40%. Oh, so they're diversifying, not just one big house to put some money, laundered money into. They're buying numerous houses. Oh, I get it. And then they're going to rent it out to schmucks like you and me at super high rate rental prices. Oh, I get it. Gotcha. So they're going to pay for cash, laundered money, and then we become their slave and rent from them the rest of our lives, because when we want to go out and buy a house, they're going to be too expensive for us to afford or get a mortgage on. So we'll just have to rent. It's going to become a rental debt society. Yeah. However, it's not going to go that way. The real estate market is going to crumble. With this kind of activity, we're finding them. Can you imagine hearing breaking news? We're going after money launderers. And like any seized asset the government gets, it goes up at auction. You can buy it. So I can't wait to see if this happens the way I'm thinking it might. But I will be waiting in the wings to go purchase a house when the time is right. And maybe you will too. Take care.